Hi, hello, it's me again, Maina from Native. And this time it's my turn to interview the CEO of Genzio Media. So, how are you doing today, Zach?
I'm great. I love Austin. Love
Yeah,
consensus. This is awesome time.
yeah. And I gotta roast you during this interview, right?
Roast me. Fuck it. I already got caked yesterday, so I'm prepared for anything.
Yeah, I know. I heard about that. I'm just like missing that event. So, let's start with some easy questions.
Sure.
What's your immediate goal, or like the goal within the next 6 to 12 months? Like, where do you want Genzio Media to be?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for me, Genzio Media is really taking this place of bringing the Web3 events and founders to people who necessarily can't be at every place. And so what we've started to do is set up these media houses next to every event. We had one in Dubai, we had one in Paris, we're now here in Austin,
Mm-hmm.
in Denver. And through that, we've been able to get some of the top founders, such as the founders of Native and a lot of other uh, protocols. It's been absolutely amazing. And I think through that, we've really seen the demand for high quality video content, especially in Web3, that is sort of unbiased, unscripted, and we don't charge anyone for interviews. That's been the model the entire time, and we'll never charge people for interviews.
Mm,
And so I think for Web3 companies and media, that's really important.
mm-hmm.
And for us over the next 6 to 12 months, on the media side specifically, we're just going to continue to build out that model. So upcoming media houses, we'll have one at ETHCC in
Mm-hmm.
Brussels. We'll have one at Korea Blockchain Week coming up in September, as well as Token 2049. We'll be interviewing more founders and building on that brand. And then the second part of it, which is sort of something new that we're going to start doing soon, is taking founders and on different adventures that we can film, whether that's like skydiving potentially, or going on like a desert safari, or
Mm-mm.
maybe a wine tasting tour. I've been talking to Mia, who also does a lot of content with us, and we've been kind of conceptualizing on this. And I think this is a really cool concept for Genzio to go forward with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on top of the interviews, just to kind of make the content more diverse. So that will be a new kind of segment. And
Mm-hmm.
then on the main side of Genzio as a company, we'll just continue to grow and expand our services, which is the main sort of underpinning base of Genzio, which is like social media management, community management, YouTube management, all that kind of stuff, which is
Mm-hmm.
the services that we provide to our clients. And we also are now having sponsors for media as well. So like
Mm.
shout out to Zero G AI, for example, for sponsoring
Okay.
this.
Okay. Cool. 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 Enough for sponsors. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
talk about some real things.
Okay, ask me anything.
I think you mentioned several core things or core themes for Genzio Media, right? One is you really appreciate the real life events for Web3, right? Second is for your media side, you do free podcasts. So let's start with like the real life event side. Like, why do you think it's so important, and why Genzio? Why you?
Yeah, I think in real life, events are important because they're often a way for people to first get involved with projects, either as a builder. So, for example, at ETH Denver, that's the world's largest Ethereum build-a-thon hackathon. So, a lot of sort of top tier projects have come out of those events, and people come to those events and get immersed within different ecosystems, whether that's Ethereum or maybe it's Breakpoint and it's Solana. And through those experiences, people find their co-founders, their builders, their investors, or just their community that they've been talking to online for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think having that point of entry is really important. And it's a way that they can directly connect with the people who are building the technology that they use. And that is really, I think, important for Web3 because it's a huge difference between
Mm-hmm.
Web2. I mean, you're probably not going to see like Mark Zuckerberg or someone who's like a really big Web2 founder kind of come on to as many events and almost be as accessible as Web3. So I
Mm.
think this ethos of sort of building in public and with your community is really important.
Mm-hmm.
And for events like ETH Denver, for example, it's a lot of people's first time ever learning about crypto. Like you ask them like, where did you first learn about crypto or something? And they're like, oh, I went to ETH Denver because it was free. And I came and I met different projects and things like that. And that was how I learned about Ethereum. And then I started trading, and then, helps them get in, because a lot of people, when they start online, it can be so overwhelming to learn about crypto. Like you Google crypto or something. It's like,
Right.
where do
Yeah.
I start? Events can be a much more curated experience.
So it's about onboarding connections. Then why you?
I think why, me and why Genzio more importantly is because, I mean, I've had a lot of experience running events. When I was in college, I did the first event at the University of Washington when I was a student. And that was back in 2017, like, 7 years ago at this point. So I have real event experience. And then I think the next part of it is that from a client standpoint, a lot of our clients are actually sponsors, of all the major events, whether that's Ripple or ICP or IONET or whichever of sort of these partners that we have, they sponsor. And what that does is it gives us really insider knowledge in terms of which events are the best for them. And I think that allows us to sort of become a curation point between all of the events, the media, because we're at the events either directly creating the content like we do at ETH Denver, or covering it like we're doing for Consensus. And we can, because we've been to all of them and sort of that, we act as sort of like a focal point between the sponsors who we introduce to the events, between the community who will watch the events online, and then also between the events themselves who we've directly made content for. And so because of that, we've seen sort of all sides of what it's like to interact from an event, whether it's like putting on that event, sponsoring an event, attending an event, or being a media partner of an event, or speaking at an event. And because we have so many clients that are also engaging and participating, as well as media, we can really sort of tap in and give people, I think, a really holistic, positive experience that wouldn't be possible if you hadn't sort of done all of the different pieces and seen it from all sides.
But how was the traction so far for all those events?
I mean, I think for people who have gone to Ethereum Denver, for example, we're not going to take credit for all of the traction. That'd be crazy. I mean, this has been an event that's been happening for a long time. It's been huge forever. However, the last 2 years since we've been running and helping curate the community in social media, it's grown over 5 to 6 times.
Wow.
And the actual signups for the event have doubled. And that's over 45,000 people who fly into Denver every single year, which makes it the most well-attended Web3 event in the world. So in terms of like, is it working? It's like, yeah, I think so. And I think for events that we've not directly necessarily run the social media with, but like Consensus, for example, we're a media partner with Consensus. They've given us media passes, and they often share our content. I think that is really key as well.
So if you really, really want to put a number, let's say how much success that Genzio Media has contributed to East Denver's success, what's the number?
It's really hard to say. I mean, I guess for people, who are watching this, it's, do you follow ETH Denver on Twitter? If you do, then like, they probably helped succeed. And if you would ask most people who attend the event, if they follow them on Twitter, the answer is probably yes. And so I think, yeah, that does drive a lot of,
engagement,
success and engagement, as well as signups. Like we literally saw the signups double over a 2-year period.
Yeah, that's Genzio Media. That's Zack, literally Zack, or
It's
his
not me,
intern.
it's the whole team. Team interns.
Behind the crypto Twitter. Okay.
I just want to clarify, say it's not just me. It's a whole team. We also work with the team at ETH Denver. I just think that we've definitely helped.
Yeah.
I don't like no one should take all the credit for anything. You know what I mean?
But you are managing a team, so you should
True.
take the credit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you previously also mentioned you don't charge for podcasts, you don't charge for interviews, and you take sponsors. But as a business owner, you should always think about your revenue, right? How do you bring this team? How do you scale the team? So what's the business plan? How do you generate more revenue?
I mean, I think Genzio is already generating, I'm not gonna say a revenue, but the company's revenue has grown over 10 times in the last 6 to 8 months. So
Wow.
the revenue of the company is growing, and I think at this point, I think we're in the top. I would say we're in the top three. I mean, we have over 25 active clients right now
Mm,
who are on retainer, and what we do for them is everything from running their social media to helping them with events.
mhm,
And so I think that's where a lot of our core revenue as a company comes from. The media houses are really a way to highlight quality projects in the space, and the sponsors have no say over what's put on the content. I mean, we're going to put their logos on there, they'll get shouted out, but it's completely unfiltered, candid, and I think that's what is going to build the brand better over time.
mhm,
But, the media house concept, we really launched kind of at Consensus last year. We beta tested. So it's been about a year, and we're already having sponsors for every single media house. This one has sponsors. The last one had sponsors. And so I think uh, for us, the revenue comes with the quality work. People who want to come on and sponsor, we have 280s mugs out here. We have a lot of sponsors. They'll continue to kind of contribute to the media side of things, and then the services side of Genzio is growing at a rapid pace. I mean,
mm,
and just to kind of talk about that, because we can focus on the media, I mean, every company needs a really strong Twitter game. And Twitter game and the YouTube game, I would argue right now we're focusing a lot on YouTube,
mm,
heavily on YouTube, because there's 3 billion people on YouTube. There's
mhm,
300 to 500 million on Twitter. It's not even close. You know what I mean? So it's
right.
like everyone in Web3 is fighting over this tiny audience, honestly, on X. So
Mhm,
we're trying to, I think that message is resonating with companies, because if you ask, like, how the average person, like, are you on YouTube and stuff, they're probably going to say yes. And so we've had a lot of success running that for
mm.
companies. And if you
Yeah.
don't have that, you should look into that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely agree with you. I think actually like video content has much better engagement than tweets. I mean, of course, most majority of the user base for crypto Twitter is on Twitter, right? What do you think about all the other specific like Web3 tools like Farcaster, Friendtag? Are you guys tapping into that?
Yeah, so I mean, we have a Farcaster account. You can follow us. We haven't seen a ton of success as a company on Farcaster, to be honest, not like we've seen on Twitter. I think because a lot of the same functionality isn't there yet. Twitter Spaces video is not the best, things like that. But going forward, as the technology improves, we definitely will be more present on there.
Mm,
We also work with a lot of folks who are very much into Farcaster. So like one of the people who does a lot of our interviews, Mia, she's really big on Farcaster. She's has a bunch of followers there. So we're very tapped into what makes accounts successful, and we're able to run those for companies. Now, whether I think they'll be successful, like probably not.
okay.
Like probably not, honestly,
Mm,
because
yep.
yeah, that's like short answer.
Okay, so your focus will be primarily on X and YouTube.
Look, I mean, yeah, I mean, if I had to think about it, it's like we're talking. If it's like this is Web3 or this is Cup, we'll do like an analogy.
Yeah.
Like this is everyone in Web3.
Yep.
Okay, this is what everyone's fighting over on X, and then it's like the whole rest of the table is like the rest of the people or the particular audience. So,
Mhm.
and then Farcaster would be like tiny compared to that.
Mhm.
So to put all of our focus on this tiny segment when there's this entire thing that's untapped, to us just seems like not the best ROI, just
Mhm.
honestly.
Of course, yeah. And if there's one thing or you think that you could do better for Genzio Media, what would it be?
I mean, I think that what we really need to do better is working on getting our name out there more. I mean, I think we've already had a lot of top guests. We're going to be improving our own YouTube channel tremendously. So that is one thing I think we are actively doing, is we've been, I'm talking about what we need to do better, what our clients are doing better. We've been so focused on X, we had been not sort of keeping up pace on YouTube. I mean, right now on X, we're uploading like a video a day,
Mhm.
an average of an interview a day, because
Wow.
yesterday, we did 16 interviews. So that's 16 days of content. You imagine we do that for 5 days in a row. That's like a month and a half of videos if we're publishing, every
Correct.
single day. So anyways, we neglected YouTube for a while. But now we're building our YouTube up. We're gonna start making our YouTube channel a really big presence. So
Mm,
we want Genzio Media to be the largest media platform on
mm,
YouTube.
mm.
And we think that goal is achievable within the next 12 months.
So if you're gonna give like all those project founders a piece of advice how to grow their X account as well as their YouTube account, what would it be? You can do one for each.
Just hire Genzio. That's the best. That's the best advice I could give you.
Okay,
No, I'm just kidding.
no advertisement.
I think the best advice is to really utilize uh the technology and what rewards the platform, because ultimately the
Mm,
platforms are created to make money for themselves. And so what does that mean? Like on YouTube, running ads can be highly successful and often underutilized because Google has perfected the art of advertising. I mean, whether you like it or not, they're amazing at pinpointing exactly who you want to talk to, when, where, why, and collecting that data for you.
mhm,
Traditionally, they had blocked all crypto Web3 advertising, but in the last 6 to 9 months, maybe a year past now, they've really loosened that up. They didn't
mm,
come out and announce it and be like, you can now run Google Ads on crypto,
mm,
but you can. And if you do that very tactfully, you can
mm,
gain massive subscribers and users from
mhm,
all regions for extremely cheap. And that's where I think we've seen the largest retention and growth, because I mean, we've gotten it down for certain companies at points. We've gotten it down to like 4 cents a user, which in Web3 it's like crazy. And these are
right.
developers
Yeah.
um, running ads on YouTube. So I would suggest that the way you do it is really important, but YouTube advertising is highly effective, and most 99% of Web3 companies are not doing that.
I actually have tried that for a while.
How did
So
it work?
it was pretty good. You actually get tons of impression, but what I don't like is at that time I was targeting, let's say, people who are interested in politics, financial news, those kind of things, and you can also specify the age group, the gender, even the regions, right? But I guess I wasn't using the right combo to filter out the target user I want. So if I have a chance to do it again, I will fine tune that for sure.
Yeah, it takes a lot of fine tuning. And I mean, we don't share any like information within between our clients, but we definitely learn from what's working. And because we have like, 25, 30 accounts that we're working on ads between,
Mm,
we don't have, the trial and error has already happened for a lot
mm,
of the more basics. So we
mm.
have certain templates that we can tap into to reach certain audiences a lot more effectively. Because you can spend a lot of money on ads and get nothing
Right.
if you are not doing it right.
On a side note, do you have any preference for any clients when you work on 25 to 30 accounts?
I think I'm gonna have to say zero G AI because thank you so much for sponsoring this. ZK Pass has been amazing. Ripple has been amazing. Ionet. I mean, all of our clients are amazing. Koi, who is here today,
Mm,
all of
direct
them,
answer.
all of them.
Okay, fine. This I don't take this answer, okay, but let him
Maybe
pass.
ETH Denver. I think they're ETH Denver.
That's your favorite
I think
client.
so.
Okay, why? One sentence.
The founder is great.
Okay. And then I think last question is about yourself, right? For your personal growth. I mean, I know you for a little bit over 2 years. I've seen you grow as a person, human being, as a leader. Right now, Genzio is doing great growth. So, what will be your focus for your personal growth?
I think my personal growth is just to be like, and this sounds weird because you're talking about all the growth. It's like to be patient some more often, because I think sometimes um, just being patient and really sort of thinking about something seriously and taking the time before making a decision can often save you a lot of time later cleaning up
Mm,
whatever decision you made when you were rushed.
mm,
So if you feel like you're rushing a decision, sometimes you have to make a quick decision. That's part of what being a leader is. The decision demands to be made,
yep.
but often they don't. Often
Mm,
decisions that you feel like might need to be made immediately can be thought about at least a little bit. And I think
Hmm.
as entrepreneurs and leaders, that is something that I want to work on. And I think I see as a growth mindset for me, being more patient in terms of how I think about things sometimes.
Well, great. Yeah, let's revisit this, right? Next year, I will ask you, Zach, how are you doing with your decision making process? Have you become more patient? Have
Okay.
you been making better decisions?
Can I ask you the same question?
Sure. My
Okay.
personal growth?
Yeah.
Um, I think for this year, the biggest lesson for me is delegation. And I
Mm,
actually have shared a lot across different medias or podcasts. Because I mean, as a lot of my friends or even the industry builders, right, within the space, they know like I try to tackle a lot of things for the company: product, BD, PR, marketing. But I do realize as an individual, as a human being, there's only to a certain extent that you can scale yourself. So as you grow your company, your product, your team, you have to let it go. You have to delegate. You have to trust your team 100% on their functional leads. So that's what I have been trying to do, right? It was very hard in the very beginning because I still want to know all the nitty gritty details of like how they're doing the things. So are we doing it okay, right? But at the end of the day, I realize if I don't let it go, if I don't delegate to the people that I trust, then we will never grow as a team, right? And the reason why like we have been working together was such a long time is because they already have the skills, they already have everything needed. So what I need to do is really to step aside and let them do their show, and I'm pretty sure they can do it better than me for that. And what I need to do is like checking from them from time to time and be supportive and helpful in the most important things that I should focus on. It's letting go, prioritize what I need to work on for the team.
that was a great answer. I'll check in with you in a year, see how you're doing. It's hard to do that. It's definitely hard to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's a growth stage, right? And it's how you work with the team. So I'm working on that, working on myself, and we will check on each other 1 year from now. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna do another podcast, interview, or show during different conferences. So yeah,
Let's go. Thank you so much.
thank you, Zach, for the time, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.